what has been, any impact that COVID had or pandemic had in your apprenticeship engagement? Cindy, why don't you go ahead on this first?
Fortunately, Sumit, the industry which we represent, fortunately, we can say that the pandemic has only helped us fuel our growth better, right? So the sector and industry, we've seen huge growth during the pandemic, at least, our distribution geographically, in terms of our headcount, right? So we see that hiring of apprentices continues to grow. What we were almost a year back and what we are today, there's an increase of almost, I would say, 120% in terms of the apprentice headcount since April 2020 to 2021. And, today, we feel that the overall apprentice headcount forms, while we started just recently last year, we feel that today the overall headcount of apprentice is a little over 2.5-3% of the total workforce, which we obviously plan to increase. So I think, pandemic definitely has, for us in our case, I would say it has helped us to increase, the hiring of apprentices. And also, as I said, it has brought in a new perspective that if we hire more apprentices, it helps us grow our future workforce and adds value to our business, right? So the most commonly cited advantage we see when we are hiring these is that, it's easy, they come with a fresh mind. It's easy to develop skills for them, develop skills which are relevant to the organization. And so this entire act kind of becomes a kind of a multifaceted, helps us to these fresh apprentices, enhance their knowledge, which thereby kind of helps us yield the productivity, get better productivity. And at the same time, which is a very big point which I want to make, is it helps us control our attrition as well, right? Okay. So if we see all of this, we feel that the pandemic has only fueled the hiring of apprentices, and it's only on a growth trajectory.
So during the pandemic, there was a significant adverse impact on our business. Since there was no growth, no fresh hiring was taking place. It was all stalled. Now that the businesses are looking up for growth, fresh hiring will start.
Okay.
Pandemic brought about a major change in attitude and practice in terms of the reduced significance of physical presence. If you recall, what really has happened is this pandemic has taught us that it is not necessary to be physically available everywhere for interviews, interactions, and meetings. So this has not only made things easier for a very large number of people and organizations, but has resulted in significant time and cost savings, particularly on travel. So whatever hiring that we resorted to during and post-pandemic so far, we have entirely depended upon the virtual platform.
Okay.
Internet of Things and virtual meetings have lifted the efficiency levels tremendously.
Okay.
But not everyone picked it up quickly. And the training plans were badly affected in the initial several months, as was the education in schools and colleges. Therefore, there has been a little gap in availability of trained apprentices right now, vis-a-vis the demand that is building up, which is building up very fast across the country. And I'm sure that facilities for apprentice programs are being geared up to meet the demand, and we will overcome the gap soon. The best part is that the young generation is quite tech savvy, and they are taking up the new challenges very quickly. And so we have all the hope that we will have an array and a pipeline of such talent, which would fulfill our requirements as the growth comes in has already started and as it grows further.
During pandemic, at the onset of pandemic, first few months were slightly slow for us because I think the predictability in terms of, the future looks quite hazy and bleak at that point of time in the first few months. So we got little slow in the sense as an organizations. I think last 1 year or maybe, just about from July last year onwards, it was a stellar growth for us because, we realized that while this is a bane for us, for this, for the entire humanity. But I think there is also a boon inside, and that was demand was. I mean, everything moved to uh, offline to online, right? And I think that was a greatest opportunity for IT industry as a whole. And I think we are seeing the demand in such a way, and many of the leaders you must be seeing, the demand is unprecedented. The challenge is on supply and fulfilling it. So first few months were a little bit of confusion in life, but after that it is a great run. I think uh, uh, every organization have really picked up in terms of putting fresh hiring, apprenticeship, and all that, because there is a huge talent gap for the industry currently. Fantastic for us,
Okay.
but that's how the story is.